So, I did practice my speech 14 times. It should be no more than 5 minutes and 32 seconds. If it goes longer than that, feel free to boo me. As the announcer DJ mentioned, my name is Ian Garvey, and I have the distinct pleasure of being the best man at the team. I've known Ian now for about 9 years, although I'll admit that we've only been very close to one another for probably about half of that. Coincidentally, Lauren and Ian have been dating for almost half of that. Something there. I'm also the only best man who comes to a wedding to settle a score. Don't worry, no matter how questionable my appearance may be, Ian's not joining the mafia. Allow me to explain myself. 3 years ago, in July of 2007, at a dive bar in Washington that no self-respecting man would bring a woman he's trying to impress. Lucky bar, really? I saw my college pal Ian and this beautiful blonde sitting in the booth. Didn't recognize her, so I walked over and introduced myself. We exchanged casual pleasantries, and then I went back to my seat, where Ian and I proceeded to text one another back and forth for the remainder of the evening. We were a little more immature then. But fortunately, we later came to find out that almost cost him a second date. Thankfully, Lauren is a patient woman and willing to overlook the stupidity of male species occasionally. That's as true today as it was then. Anyhow, the next day I asked Ian how his date went, and almost instantaneously he said, "That's the girl I'm going to marry." One date. Pretty impressive. Now I'm not really a betting man, but I'm also no fool, and I figured that the odds of that happening were pretty slim. So I bet Ian a rather large sum of money that would not happen. Well, here we are, 3 years later. 4 years later. This is 14 too late. Here we are, 4 years later, egg on my face, a smile on his. You win, Corbs. And because I'm a man of my word, I'm going to pay you what I said I would. Even though the fact that you're making Lauren your wife is probably the best prize you could possibly ever get. Can you hold this, please? Thanks. I'll be damned if I'm going to make it easy for him to cash in on this, so one moment. Jesus.
Yellow.
Don't put it on the table.
Thank you. So, in that there treasure chest, the handle broke because it's so heavy. There are enough quarters for the two of you to pay for parking for the rest of your life. You can start a fun piggy bank, perhaps, for any little mini Forbeses you have in the future. No pressure. What's funny about that is that this morning we went to lunch, Chris, Mike, myself, and Ian, and we went to a diner in Bethesda, and they had a little jukebox in our booth. None of us had quarters. And at one point, Ian actually said, "I don't carry quarters." That problem is solved. All joking aside, flip that a little. All joking aside, I'm not at all unhappy about losing this bet. In fact, the day that I met it, and ever since, I've I've kind of been hoping that I would. The more that I met Lauren Miller, the more I realized just how wonderful a woman that she really is. Not only does she make one of the most beautiful brides I think any of us in this room has ever seen, I was hoping not to make her blush. Thanks for doing that. She's also incredibly smart, she's caring, she's genuine, and above all else, she's a true class act. When I'm around Lauren, I actually find myself trying to behave so that I'm on her level. And that's a really good thing. I should do that more often. She's cool enough to let the boys be boys when we want to be, but assertive enough to tell us that we're idiots when that's necessary as well. If I had a nickel for every time that's happened, I'd have a massive chest myself. But what really stands out about Lauren is the impact that she's had on my very good friend Ian. He's always been a smart, fun guy to have around, as everybody knows. But over the past 3 years, I've seen him evolve. 4 years. I've seen him evolve into a calmer, happier, more driven and self-confident person. Those aren't really values that people develop easily, and so the fact that Lauren has been with him in that time, I think is something very special. Nowadays, when something's on my mind, it's Ian's counsel that I seek, because I know that only somebody truly as happy and at peace with his own life can try and help me find that in my own. What's best, since Ian and Lauren started dating, I've found one of my very best friends. And I don't think that's a coincidence, so thank you both for getting together. As the saying goes, and as cliche as it may seem, I do find it to be true. Behind every man, there's an even greater woman. And I personally cannot wait to see all of the great things to come from this beautiful couple. Ian, Lauren, congratulations. Don't cry. And thank you for sharing this special day with all of us. You really are two of the most amazing people that I've ever met, and I consider myself lucky to call you both friends. You'll join me in raising a glass to Mr. and Mrs. Ian and Lauren Forbes. Cheers.
Yeah.